Action!
I hear they say in California there's a lot of people that are not as real as they portray themselves to be. You know what I'm saying? They're more like, yeah, I'll do this, and then next week they're not really gonna do it, just like you were talking about before. So is that true? And how do you maintain that and balance that in that area?
Well, what I can say is, as far as relationships and relationship building go, it's the core of all business. In the media space, there's a lot of things that you can do to gain work. You can submit RFPs, you can work with other agencies, and a lot of that is really just throwing your name into a hat that everybody else is throwing their name into. I've seen people get things that are unbelievable contracts, things that you're like, oh my gosh, like, how did you get that? And it's like, oh well, a friend of mine's a lawyer there, and we spoke, and they gave me the okey doke, and I got it.
Yeah,
And it's happened for me. It's happened for me where I pick up the call, people call, and a lot of times I get work because people want to call to talk about their kids,
interesting.
or they want
Their
to talk.
kids.
They want to talk about their kids, or they want to talk about who they're dating and the trauma that comes along with that. Or so I have a very good friend and probably one of my bigger contracts as far as company size. It's $1 billion company. I get that because she likes to call me and ask me about the notifications that come up on her iPhone.
Hey,
Can you, can you help me? Of course I can.
I can. I got you.
Or she wants to tell me about her travel experiences. And then at the very last 30 seconds of the conversation, when now we've finished talking about Bali and we finished talking about South Africa, it's, oh yeah, we need you to film something.
Yo, wow.
That last sentence was $30,000.
Jeez.
It's the core of all of this thing.
Wow.
It's the core. Now, there's different ways to go about it. Business development is just taking the coolest people who know how to have conversations and telling them, go develop friendships so that you can come back with contracts for us. That's the key. So, a lot of it is luckily, thank you, Jesus, I was able to make jokes.
Yeah, you are funny. You are a
That's
funny
the
guy.
main thing. I'm able
Yes.
to say things and make sure some people don't get offended. And I mean, one of our contracts who have been with us, our clients who's been with us the longest, I was introduced to them because I saw a guy who's my mentor walk into a shop that I was working at when I was maybe 23, and it's July, it's 7 billion degrees outside, and he's wearing
Sheesh.
a turtleneck and leather jacket. And boy, did I roast him. And because of that, he said, I like you. I'm going to open the doors for you. And he gave me
Of course.
all the work that I needed. And,
Of
I think
course.
because of him, I made my first $250,000. So it was like,
Let's go.
just being friendly and talking to a complete stranger
Yeah.
and being like, yo, I'm about to roast you. And luckily he was black. So he kind of understood,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It worked. It worked out.
if I made fun of an older white guy, yeah. But,
Yeah, it's like, it
yeah.
depends. They do fuck with it
Yeah,
too. Yeah, they're like,
sometimes
you know
you just
what?
never know. You really never know. You know,
Yeah, it's a hit or
uh,
miss. It's a hit or
yeah,
miss.
it's a hit or miss. And sometimes when it hits, they're like, "This guy's funny."
I like
I
him.
kind
I
of
like
like this
him.
guy. He's a little ballsy, but yeah. So it's the core of it all, and it's another thing is just don't be afraid
Yeah.
to let people know what you need. You know,
Speak up.
speak up and be vulnerable with people. Hey, I'm calling you because we're looking for a new contract. We're trying to make just $10 more thousand this month. Is there anybody that you think I can talk to? A lot of time people get embarrassed by that, and I get why. I understand why, but man, put that stuff to the side. Because truth be
That's
told,
right.
people love helping people.
Yeah.
They do. They love helping people. Um, so if you can call somebody that you know is going to show up for you, or is even going to just try for you, it will develop everything that you're doing. Everything. It's the core of it all.
Yeah, I love that wisdom. I love that wisdom. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to go into your mental health. I want to go into mindset with you. You dealing with all this stuff, heavy as the crown, they say, and you dealing with finding the clients, finding the workers, making sure your dream comes true, making sure your life is balanced as well too. So, what are you doing for mental health? How are you? How is your mental, by the way? How are you?
That's a great question. Sometimes I like to say I'm Caribbean, so you know I'm
That's
prepared
enough
for
said.
you know I'm prepared for the worst in life already, man. I've been traumatized from the day I was born, so
The
ah,
day you came out the womb, boy.
yeah, boy, what's a little money gonna do to me, huh?
Come
I
on now.
lost it, I gained it. Hey, man, my mom's mean.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. So, this is what I could say. I'm so lucky that it was a progress to where I don't know how heavy the crown is.
Mm,
I just got the opportunity to build enough muscle for it to sit there without a problem. I've never, I've thought about quitting, but I've never thought about quitting at life.
mm,
I thought about quitting as a pivot. I feel I'm just lucky that I've always had the mentality of so long as my work affects others positively, we're good. And because I believe so strongly in the enhancement of others, it drives me in every way. So it helps my mental health to stay consistent because if something works, I'm happy for two people.
mm,
If something doesn't work, I'm excited to solve it for two people or more. So I'm lucky. Now, there are plenty of things that have come to mind because this is a game of sacrifice. We're from the same town. I've had to sacrifice coming home a lot, because the moment a good contract comes along, I was like, shoot, I was trying to go home for 2 weeks. Can't do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Then you blink and then you look up and, oh, it's been 3 years. It's been 4 years. It's been 6 years, and sometimes have passed where I didn't see my parents for a long
Hmm.
years at a time that I didn't see them. And I'm lucky that they're still here.
Yeah.
Um, it's those type of things that once you recognize, I make an effort to just be like, all right, let me be sure that in the moment of sprint, this means something, so that can work. And
Mm,
that's how I like to keep it balanced. There always has to be a reason why. If I'm working and I know that it's for me and I'm putting myself to the forefront, it's because I want to see my family. I want to go take a break. I want to, whatever it is, I want to do that. And that keeps my mental health right in a sane spot.
yeah,
So,
and that I love that. I love that. I love that you're now being aware of it. I mean, there was times that you had to sacrifice your mental health for your passion, for your purpose. But I mean, now you're in a better space where you can actually be able to take time and just recuperate, get yourself together so you can get back into the work and do it with passion, with more passion than
yeah,
before, correct? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What is some other methods and ways that you would manage stress nowadays? Like, because say you can't go home, like what can you do nowadays that you would do?
Well, I love going to the gym. I'm a big gym person. I'm like one of those freaks that goes at 5 or 6 in the morning.
Ooh, that's a normal human.
Yeah,
That's a that's a normal human right there that
yeah,
wants to
yeah,
see change.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I've been doing it for years, like over 10 years.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, I don't. I try not to do any workout after like 10 in the morning. Because that's time for work. And I love going to the gym. It just burns out all your thoughts. It reminds you of who you are. It reminds you that you're not a superhero, and but it also reminds you that you're not weak. It always puts me in line with who I am. Sometimes like I switch up the cardio routine, and I come to find out like, oh boy, I thought my lungs were good. you know.
Yeah.
And then it gives me a new goal. Like, okay,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I wonder what I can do in 2 months, from now. I remember um, 10 or so years ago, this boxer used to train me and whip me in good shape, and I was able to do 20 pull ups at the start of the workout and then 20 pull ups at the end of the workout. And then that slipped away, and I wasn't able to do that anymore. And then at the gym
Hmm.
the other day, sometimes when you stretch, and then
Yes.
you look like you're about to do
Yes.
it. No, I'm just stretching. I was like, I ain't done this in a minute, and I did two. I didn't get tired, but I got off the thing celebrating, like, oh
Yeah.
snap!
Come
Am
on.
I
Small
coming back?
wins,
Like,
baby.
you know what I mean? Like, am I coming back? But
Yes.
I had avoided doing it because I was like, yeah, I know the last time I tried this 6 years ago, I wasn't able to do it, so now I'm embarrassed, and all that.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's that for me. Like, I love working out. It's a part of my mental health journey. Unfortunately, I also love to eat. So, I kind of have to reset the workouts every single day.
Good little balance. Good little balance. You
Because
can't
it's
do too
actually
much at once,
about it.
you know?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So, yeah. But what
Listen.
about you? I mean, you've had a lot going on in your life. And,
Yeah.
we've both felt like um, health scares and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
how do you walk one step in front of the other every single day without tripping over yourself?
Oh man, beautiful question. I would definitely say we're dealing with the Crohn's because I know you remember that season of my time when I was just like battling with that it was a so basically Crohn's is a bowel disease. And I had to get surgery. I lost a whole ton of weight. That's the first time I was like saying, you know what, I want to change myself. I want to revamp who I am, and that's why I made that move to New York after I healed up and got better. But dealing with all that, dealing with stress, I go to the gym as well too. I find some other things to help me as well. Some herbs of life, of great herbs of. So that's a little something something. I do meditate. I do walk in nature. The nature is the biggest one for me. I now since I'm back home, I now go to the beach more often. I go in the mornings. I go in the evenings. I go to the trail that we have here and just walk and get lost, and just breathe in the air, man. And that's always been my thing to reset my body and reset my mind.
Do you do those things by yourself or you go with somebody?
Oh yes, of course, yes. I do it all by myself. If I can, I'll invite people over, but most of the time it's better when I can just sit by myself and talk to myself. You know what I mean? Because not everything everybody need to be around to hear when because I talk to myself, okay?
Out loud.
So right, out loud, of course, you know what I'm saying? Um, so that's where I find the best time to really think and to really regroup and see myself. But I want more techniques. I want more ways of doing it. I tried yoga. That worked out pretty well, but it's hard when you move around from different places. You got to find a better class. It's all that feeling that you need to do. But yeah, that is mostly what I do for my mental health.
Let me ask you
I
this.
think
Do you stay
talk to
up
me.
late at night?
I do and I do not. It all depends. It all depends on the work schedule. It all depends on what session I have because when I do massage sessions, I believe it's an energetic type of exchange that you have going on. And so sometimes I could be very tired after doing 5 to 6 clients. You know what I'm saying? My schedule usually like from 3 to 9. So I like to target the clients that are, after work or they can't make it in the morning times, but you can make it in the evening times. So those are my best clients. So I'm tired, bro. So I'll knock out at 10 or 11 o'clock. But if we're creating, if I'm trying to think of a new thing, I'm up. I'll be up for that. I'll be up for that. I see that you're kind of like a night owl yourself. I mean, I always wonder when we're texting,
Do I
it's
sleep?
like you're able to be up, and I'm like, wait, bro, you know what time it is? And you're like, I'm here. I'm just like, amazing. So what is your pattern? What does your sleep schedule look like, man?
Well, that's something I definitely had to put together. Sleep is so important, and I did not value it at all at first for a long time. I mean, I had an energy drink obsession for a while because I was like, I'm trying to go. Ain't nobody trying to help me the way I'm trying to help me. I'm gonna go. But then I realized there's only 24 hours in a day for a reason, and
Hmm.
you're not meant, at least not for a long period of time, to abuse those hours. You can go into a sprint for a couple months or whatever, but I try to regulate my sleep nowadays to sleep at an appropriate time. But it is true that my brain does not turn off. And
Mm.
it's like I have two switches in my mind. There's the 5 a.m. to about 11:45 p.m. me, and then there's a version of me that comes out at midnight. That now I stop thinking about how do I make the business better? Who do I need to hire? What do I need to spend on? What do I need to invest on? What do I need to do? How do I do this? And then it just changes, and then it turns back to me. And that a lot of times that's time that people don't want to face. It's that look in the mirror. But I look in that mirror all the time, unfortunately. Sometimes I can't fall asleep, or I went through a weird period of time where I was waking up at like 1:45 in the morning a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
And would
and
you go back to sleep after that, or is it just like wake up and then I can't go back to sleep?
at first I was trying to go back to sleep, but then I would start thinking about things again. And
Mm.
after a while, I would just be like, well, if I'm awake, I might as well go to work.
Right.
So there would come that time when it's the witching hour, it's 2 in the morning, and I don't have anything to do but to think about me.
Hmm.
Where my mind is telling me there's nothing else to think about but you. Don't think about work, don't think about money, don't think about employees, don't think about anything. And that's one of the scariest places to be because your brain doesn't ever give you compliments. Not at that
Hmm.
hour.
That is true because you're like that is wow. I didn't even think about it like that. I really yeah, because now you're like, and if you caught sorry to cut your wisdom off, but if you're caught looking at social media, you can end up comparing yourself. You can end up saying, "Yo, I'm not doing this. Oh, why am I not getting that done?" Oh, wow, I did not realize that.
It hits you with every vulnerable thought you can ever think of. And that's why sometimes I say a form of affirmation to myself because I wake up sometimes with that spirit on me, of doubt in myself, doubt in my decisions, doubts about something you did 20 years ago, fear, all of that stuff. And then I just have to wake up in the morning and remind myself who I am. And that's another form of taking care of my mind that
Right.
says, at that hour, you're not being totally honest.
Yeah.
You're exaggerating with yourself a good bit. And you need to be careful to not let those thoughts permeate into your soul. So
Yeah.
remind yourself, you're good, you're strong, you're smart. And
Have you
if I,
ever had, sorry, cut your wisdom. Have you ever had any imposter syndrome dealing with
yeah,
these thoughts? Yeah, multiple times. Yeah, sounds like it.
I mean, it's interesting. I've had more imposter syndrome about personal side of life than work.
Mm,
The way I started producing was all imposter.
mm.
I didn't even know what I was doing. So when I first started the production company officially, in college we were making videos and stuff, but I met this guy in line at a comedy show. I'd never produced anything in my life, but the day before I read a book. I think that was one of those books that has like a sentence per page, and it said, "You're a director. The only job you have to do is tell people that you're a director." So I met this guy at a comedy show. He asked me, "What do you do?" And I was gonna tell him, "Oh, I just work at this shop randomly," but I said, "I'm a producer." And he said, "Oh, great. Come to my office. I have a contract for you."
What?
All of a sudden, I'm producing Toyota commercials. He worked at Time Warner Cable. Gave me a contract. Hey, come produce these Nissan commercials. Come produce these Toyota commercials. Do I know what I'm doing? No, not even a little bit. And you know what? No imposter syndrome. I would be on set. I don't
You're
know who
sure?
I'm hiring. I don't know what I'm. I don't know. I don't even know how to make a budget. I would be on camera. I'm pressing record. I don't know what settings I'm using, and then we'd submit the work, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is great."
Wow, wow.
I really didn't know what I was doing. I have imposter syndrome about relationships that I have with people on a one to one.
Mm.
My good friend, my good enough person. Is our relationship real? Is this anything that comes to work? mm, I feel fine.
So going to a relationship, let's talk about that a little bit. You do you have a romantic relationship at this moment in time, or you just right now you're
No,
focused?
that's something that's been one of the bigger challenges in life. I feel like if you give me a corporate problem and you say, "Hey man, we just want to make an extra $1 million a year," I go, "Oh, that's it?
It's easy. Yeah.
Come on, give me a real challenge." If you tell me, "Hey, this girl likes you," I want to be like, "Why?
Hey, what do you mean?
What's wrong with her?"
What's wrong with her? What's right with you?
You know what I
That's what
mean?
it is.
It's one
Yeah.
of those type of things. There's been a lot of sacrifice for work. There's been moments when I've gotten close and it doesn't work because I chose work.
Mm,
Um, I've missed an action that I made years and years ago. I was with somebody, really fantastic person, but I was so dedicated to the work. I remember telling her, "Hey, I'm about to be shooting a project. I'm gonna talk to you when the project is done. It's gonna be done in about 3 months."
yo, damn.
She was like, "I'm not gonna be
So
around
he
no
was
three
like,
months."
nah.
Yeah, she's like, "Nah." I mean, I definitely was a cocky 22-year-old maybe at the time, but I was like,
You
"Nah." When
assure
I get
yourself.
back, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
"When I get back, you're gonna be answering the phone." No. No.
She's like, what?
Yeah,
She's like,
like
what you thought?
yeah, yeah, and she never answered the phone again.
Sorry,
So
brother.
but that's okay. That goes back to what I was saying. Like, man, when I tell you I was emotionless, I really
Mm,
was. I just like
mm,
didn't cater to anybody's emotion at all, whether it's personal or business, professional. I didn't cater to anybody's emotions ever.
mm.
I remember her being like, "You can't just call me like for 5 minutes at the end of the day. 5 minutes."
Let's have a little discussion. Yeah, I mean, he said that's 5 minutes of money. What
That's
do you
right.
mean?
At the time, that's all I cared about. What are you talking about? Talk to me when I have some
Yeah,
free time. You go find
right.
go find a job. Like I would go
You ain't
I would
busy enough.
yeah, yeah, you like
She
go
ain't
figure
busy
it out.
enough.
Come to find out, boy, that's not how to do that. That's not how to do that. So
Oh
I had to learn
man.
that lesson.
Yeah.
But yeah, and a lot of it that goes back to the imposter syndrome, of just knowing like I am so good at this one thing and I feel so great there. I feel comfortable there that in some cases I've sacrificed so much of that growth, like personal growth, that sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how to do that properly. I don't even know what I bring to the table. I'm sure there's plenty, but I just don't know. And my mind doesn't take me there. My mind takes me to, well, how can I impact some more people's lives through our work? And you know what? Very little of what we do is about work as human beings, like very little of it. Um, so it's an everyday struggle. Eventually, I'm gonna focus on that. I'm going
I
to.
believe you.
I'm only getting older. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
get to a time where I'm gonna have to teach a kid soccer somewhere. Um,
And that was something God wanted to show you real quick so you know in the future it's coming. It's coming
a
for you.
hundred percent,
For
a
sure.
hundred percent.
For sure.
So yeah, what about you?
When it comes to a relationship right now, no, not
Okay.
right now. I would say I'm in a phase of growing or relearning myself because I was in a relationship like for 3 years, and it's been a year now since I have not been in a relationship. So right now it's just building, creating what I see myself as in the future, and getting my emotions and emotional intelligence right to the point where I can be with a woman and, have another long and maybe take the next step. We'll see. But, right now, I think I want to have the mindset you have. Keep that in mind where I'm going to just start working harder on the brand and how I'm going to impact people or meet more people because you know what? At the end of the day, I think who I'm gonna be with will come to me in the due time I need it to be. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that for you as well too. Like I don't think I think we're on a mission. You know, I see this as a game. I see life as a little game that we're playing to get to different levels so that when we get to that final level, we're like, yo, yes, this is what I came here for. This is why I needed to do this. This is why I went through all those lessons that turned to blessings. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, relationship is there though. Don't get me wrong, because I do believe in partnership. And I do believe that, like, with a woman backing me, I could do many things. You know what I'm saying? But everything's in God's hands. You know what I'm saying? We'll see when that time comes.
We are KKO Productions, and we create high quality videos for high quality results.
How does it all work?
Well, first, you reach out to us. Action!
Hi, you need a video?
Yes, we do.
Got it.
Then, tell us what you need.
Well, we're launching a brand new product.
Great, we'll make that brand video for you.
You know, they'll likely need some weekly content too.
Oh, weekly content? Easy.
Good idea.
And cut. Good job, loved it. Explainer videos, digital ads, courses, case study videos, content. We'll make it.
We then create a timeline, set up an informational interview with you to get all the facts, write the script, shoot that video or videos, and then edit it. And boom, you have your video.
Together, we'll make sure we submit your video to you on time, every time.
And all the assets we create belong to you.
But what are the results?
KKO videos have been viewed by millions of people around the world and have generated over $50,000 per day in digital downloads.
Why KKO Productions over other production companies?
You know, most companies, they're selling 4K or 6K videos, and that's nice, but high quality doesn't only mean high resolution. Our young and diverse creative team, we write the scripts, we do the planning, and we develop the stories for your videos so you don't have to.
And we don't just produce that one video. We can repurpose the video and cut it for social media, ads, different platforms, and write with different lingo for different markets.
Oh, so KKO Productions uses videos to help build businesses. KKO Productions.
Build your business
By using ours.
You can impact the entire world with one person.
Mm, mm.
That is going to force you to only work with people that you truly believe in, not just people that are in your proximity. The difference is one is going to bring talent to the table that you can market. The other one is you trying to market someone's talent.
You got me thinking. You got me thinking. Because one seed can make millions. It
Of
can
course.
impact millions.
Of course. And something about management that you should understand, it's incredibly hard work.
Yeah.
Incredibly hard work. So you have to eat, sleep, and dream that these people are the next big ones. A lot of times managers take on financial responsibility for their artists.
Yeah.
So you have to love them so much in the work that they do that when they don't want to go to a show, or they don't want to listen to your advice, or they don't want to produce the thing that you're telling them to produce, that you're still going to stand by their side. They're that special. They're so special. The whole world needs to know about them, and I'm going to make sure that they do. If you don't feel that way, and you just have four bozos on your team and one good one, you're going to waste a lot of time trying to build four bozos that don't deserve it.
Yeah. You know, I'm just absorbing it. I'm absorbing everything you're saying right now. I don't even have like a real response because it's real. You're right. You're very right. Yeah, bro. We need to have a one-on-one discussion because I think there's a lot more to learn from you than meets the eye. And even though you're still in the process of learning different things yourself, yeah, I want to have this again, this conversation again. Um,
Sure.
Yeah, I want to have a part two. I definitely was thinking about it the whole time. I'm like, yo, we got to.
There's a lot we have to touch on. A lot. There's a lot
Yeah,
of stuff
yes,
I really want to talk about. A lot.
yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad that you even have thoughts and things that you're already wanting to speak on because that's beautiful. So we can definitely make this a part two. You were saying something earlier. You was like, you feel like I'm doing something big. Can you expound on that a little bit? Like, why do you feel that way, and what have you seen that made you say, you know what, I believe that you are on a right path to that?
Here's the thing about when you do something. Everybody has the opportunity and the ability to do something big. All that is required is the work. That's the most important part. A lot of times people have ideas and thoughts, and hey man, we love ideas and thoughts. But the fact that you're sitting down and pressing record, you don't understand that there are companies out there, full companies, that give their employees iPhones, and they are valued, media companies valued on the S&P.
Wow.
You don't understand that. If you go to that dude who does the School of Hard Knocks,
Hmm.
he has a phone and a microphone. His brand deals are six figures. His profit margin is like 90% on an iPhone. Something you made on an
Wow.
iPhone.
Wow.
So if you are consistent with the fact that you are doing something, whether or not it's on phone or if it's on a Red or an Alexa, it doesn't matter. The thing is, I found a space that's important. I want to talk to people who are doing things.
Mhm.
And the fact that you're doing things, should you remain consistent, can grow because you're going to grow. You're going to learn,
Mhm.
you're going to find out something that works, and you're going to say, oh, let's pivot to do that
Yes.
more. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to grow. So long as you look at it that way, you remain consistent and you remain a student, it'll grow. And eventually, I'm going to be the one calling to see if I can get a spot on the show.
Speak it to existence, Roy. Speak it to existence, man. Nah, thank you for speaking life into me, for real. Like, I really appreciate it, bro. And thank you for being an inspiration, even when you don't know, because people are watching you. You know what I'm saying? People are watching you, and they're understanding, like, yeah, that guy got it. You know what I mean? Now, before we go, is there anywhere, where can everyone find you? Where can people get in contact with you? And are you available for mentorship? Like, is that a thing that you're looking at doing, or is that something that you don't know yet?
Sure. So I'm always open for mentorship. I get mentored by the great Arian Copeland and others who are incredible. But I love helping people who are just getting on the journey. I've made enough mistakes for all of us put together, so I'm happy to share them. Before we go, I do want to tell a little bit about my business. So.
Yes.
Um, at KKO Productions, we work with fully funded tech companies all the way up to enterprises to create strategic content for their growth. That could be anything from social content, organic or paid. We tend to lead towards the paid just because there comes a solid investment when it comes to working with us, and we see the most conversion when it comes to paid, especially on social. But that also translates over to CTV, which is traditional television but on streaming platforms. We work
Mm.
with companies who are looking to scale, who are looking to incorporate video into their businesses, things that we don't necessarily do. And it's not to say that we don't do it because we don't like it. It's just not what we do. We're not necessarily a videography company. We are not necessarily a company that is still holding stock on the smaller end. We're a company that's actively scaling, and we're working with brands that are ready and willing to invest in what we do. And we've seen incredible results. Not only have we seen over $12 million accumulated in venture capitalists, but we've seen $10 million, over $10 million accumulated just through gross revenue. We've seen 1,000% ROI on campaigns that we've produced and managed, and we've help companies scale. We really do. We put time and effort into the work that we do, and we just make sure that you're not getting pretty images and pretty visuals and getting a reel that hopefully maybe sort of goes viral.
Viral.
You know, smart business-led campaigns by really intelligent individuals, and we're not just people who know how to press record on the camera. We are business consultants with cameras. So if you're looking to grow your company in any kind of way, and you need intelligent people to come in and solve your problems from the internal all the way out to the external, come to KKO Productions. We will help you out and we'll make you successful. So that's KKO Pro, KKOPRO.com. My name is Kelby Joseph. We're on Truth and Legacy. This is my man Terrell Dawkins, and this is how we end the show.
That's what I'm talking about. Kelby.